My amplified unit. Salute. Saturday evening or night, depending on where you are in the world, we coming at you with a special weekend edition of the Amped Up Podcast with BC for Saturday, May 20th, 2023, where we will be featuring, spotlighting the SmackDown show that aired last night. This will be the review, and I got a lot to say about this show. The Bloodline imploding from within. Self-sabotage from an overly paranoid Roman Reigns. But is this one storyline enough to put WWE on their back so they can coast into SummerSlam? Because that's what they're doing. Nothing else on these shows is enough to give even a second glance to. Nothing we would go back and watch a second time. We're not even talking about anything else other than the little bit of tension within the Bloodline. That's it. Rick Boogs and LA Knight together? What? Don't worry, BC. They broke up just as fast as they got together. Okay, but what's the trajectory now? Oh, we're going to talk about it. And if this makes sense, and if this is exactly what Boogs and LA Knight should be doing. Bianca Belair and Asuka are doing the same thing last night that they did 2 months ago heading into Mania. How is that acceptable? It's not. It's unacceptable. Oh, we're going to talk about it. Pretty deadly. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Grayson Waller, they all have these big debuts on SmackDown last night. How did they go? Oh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to pay respects to superstar Billy Graham. We're going to talk about WWE continuing to pipe in fake boos to one of their champions. Oh, I got a lot to say. That's your cold open. That's the teaser. We're not going to waste any more time. It's already later on a Saturday evening / night. We're going to get this party rolling. Smash that up. Help out that algorithm. Show the love to the channel. Grab your beverage. Hopefully it's double amplified. Down that shit. And let's rock this bitch to the core. All right, unit. So before we get into the SmackDown review, which is the focus of today's Amped Up Podcast, special weekend edition, glad to have you guys on board. A lot of newer subscribers recently. We do these long formatted podcasts, guys. They ain't. A lot of people go, oh, please, I don't have an hour, man. I don't have an hour and 20 minutes. Can you shorten them a little bit? What? No, it's a podcast, man. If you ain't got the time up front in one sitting, come on back. Watch it in 4 or 5 different sittings if you gotta. But more than that, listen. You ain't even gotta watch BC. The fact that it's on the tube, this platform, it gives you an option to watch. But I know these are long. That's by design. I love shooting the shit about many topics in the pro wrestling world, and I don't like to be hindered by time. So a lot of these are going to be more than an hour. That's why a while back I switched to more of a podcast format. A little less emphasis on the video. In other words, you could be doing anything. Shopping with grandma. Doing your fucking 9-to-5 job. Maybe you're stocking shelves and you got fucking BC in the earbuds. Your boss is yapping away. You ain't hearing him. You're getting amplified. Maybe you got lawn work to do. Your wife is yelling at you. You're acting like you're listening, but you got BC in your ear. Put in the earbuds and just listen. But it's a podcast, guys. I'm not breaking vids down into 10, 15 minutes or putting out 3 to 4 10, 15 minute videos a day. I'm not going to confuse you guys like that. I don't work that way. I don't operate that way. This is a long formatted podcast. And that's how you should treat it, because we're not going to shorten the length. I'm giving you a heads up because I know you're going to catch this later on a Saturday. I understand a lot to do today, and this is going to get out to you guys late. But you're forewarned. This is still going to take about an hour, give or take a few minutes. There's a lot to talk about, all right? Now, one more thing before we start. Big apology for last night. Yesterday's Amped Up podcast went live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now think about that. 8 p.m. Eastern Time on a Friday night. That's SmackDown. That was not by design. I know a lot of you guys, like War Dog and a bunch of others, said, oh, leave it to BC. There's nobody but BC would do this. Go literally up against WWE one-on-one at the exact 8 o'clock hour. So you guys thought I did it on purpose because it's something that I would do. I am that amplified. I am a little bit fucking loopy like that. But I actually didn't do that by design, guys. I had a lot to do yesterday. I had to film that later than I wanted. It got edited later than I wanted. And I wanted to put it up at about 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And more business ended up coming onto my plate, so to speak. I had about 3 things come up last second that needed to be taken care of. And honestly, at about 7:59, I realized, oh shit, I never went live with the vid, with the Amped Up podcast. So at 8 o'clock, that thing went live, literally against SmackDown. A lot of you guys thought I did it on purpose, so you got a laugh out of it. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't split the audience like that. Thankfully, a few thousand of you guys have already caught it. If you didn't, you most likely didn't even know that I put out a podcast yesterday, but I did. It went head to head with SmackDown, unfortunately. All apologies. What can I do, man? It was a BC blunder, a BC botch. I'll take the L on that, but as long as you guys are able to listen to that at some point over the next 24 hours, greatly appreciate it, and that's all that matters to me, man. As long as it's up and you guys have the opportunity, if you want, to listen to that podcast, guys. We talk about a lot of big things, like the debut of Grayson Waller. We also talked, that was last night with the Waller effect. That's a little bit of a preview of SmackDown, but I give you a lot of interesting thoughts that ended up coming to fruition, like Karrion Kross, AJ Styles, which we're about to go over. We also talked in yesterday's podcast about Saraya, formerly known as Paige, going hard on Thunder Rosa and talking about how she just likes to talk a lot. Maybe a little less of that, and there'll be a lot less drama. Saraya, we talked about that. Major creative shakeup in AEW. Tony Khan is loosening the reins and giving creative control to what might seem like some shocking individuals for you guys. But I go over a little bit of a history lesson, and these individuals that will be doing creative for AEW, you shouldn't be too shocked. So we'll go over that as well. Or we did go over that in yesterday's podcast. Again, it did not go up on the channel until 8 p.m. Eastern Time when SmackDown went live. Go figure, guys. So that's on the channel, though, if you guys missed it. And for those that did catch it, you guys fucking rock, man. Nothing gets by you guys, man. You got BC, you're subbed and you're notified. You got the notification bell. So even when SmackDown's on, you got that notification bell popping up on your phone, and you're like, oh shit, BC's taking on SmackDown. All right, guys, let's do this. SmackDown 5/19/23. Smash that up, like I said, if you haven't already. Helps out the algorithm, helps out the channel, and if you're a channel member, if you're a gold card member, you gots to do that. That's a prerequisite. Always smash that up. Oh, and real quick, we got a channel member of the week. New channel member of the week. You guys ready for this? She's been on board for a while. She is a current gold card member. Obviously, to be a channel member of the week, you got to be a channel member. And the gold card channel member of the week through an auto generator, guys. I'm not just close your eyes and picking a name. No, I put all the names to a nice auto generator, man. The things they have today for me to even do that is so cool. But the name that it wound up on is... That's my drum roll, but please excuse that. I'll work on it. Renee G! Renee G, congratulations. You are the channel member, gold card member of the week. The ultimate respect, Renee G at the top of the heap for the next week. Congratulations, Renee. Always good to see you up in the chat. Love seeing your name up there. Love the love that you give to the channel. Just know it's being sent right back. So when it landed on Renee G, man, I was like, yeah. I get excited, man. I really do. It's like you guys won a real award or something, you know? So it lands, I'm like, Renee, yeah, get him, Renee. Salute, Renee G. Thanks for all the support. Channel member of the week. So fucking proud. All right, let's do this. So we start off with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, middle of the ring. Roman Reigns sporting his new shirt, Life is Not Fair, and I'm still. So he's, anybody that's got a problem with Cody not winning the championship and being done with this whole Roman Reigns charade, this is them acting anyway, trying to show you that they're unfazed by it and to get over it, right? The reality of the situation is it's done. It's done. The reason the backlash was so massive coming out of WrestleMania with Roman still being champion and then going away for a month and a half, just going home and sipping martinis and margaritas. Good for him, by the way. No player hating. Hey, if you can work out that contract, do your thing. And still have world championship titles, and you get to go home for a month and a half? That's like winning the Super Bowl and being told, hey, as a team, you don't got to show up for next season. Just forget about it. The next pay-per-view, you ain't even got to show up, bro. And the one after that, we'll put you in like a tag team match. Relax. You just won the Super Bowl. Hey, sit the next season out. Or at the bare minimum, you don't got to play in the preseason. Just show up on week 1. Miss training camp, miss the preseason, show up on week 1. You're the champs, go home. So Roman Reigns is sporting this shirt, and they're trying to have fun with this, right? Oh, everyone's upset. Well, it's not. It's not. It's the fact that you massively botched to the point where the product is hurting because of the botch on Sunday, April 2nd. And you still have wrestlers galore coming out of the woodwork and trying to say that was the right call on Sunday, April 2nd. Roman keeping the titles was the right call. Are they not watching the product? Apparently not. Looking at the ratings, nobody is anymore, except for the tried and true fucking, or the Habit and Hope crowd. Right? The ones that either fly the WWE flag, they have it tribalistically planted in their yard, or if you're like BC, you tune in out of Habit and Hope. Habit we've been watching for years and years and years since we were little tykes, and Hope hoping the product gets better. That's the only audience that's watching now. The ones that'll accept everything that Paul Levesque, Schnoz McGee, Pinocchio himself, and the old bastard in Stamford, Connecticut, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the ones that'll accept any type of bullshit stew that they feed them, right? Please, sir, can I have some more? And they're staring there, looking up at you with their wooden bowl and wooden spoon, wanting more of that bullshit stew. And then, of course, the Habit and Hope crowd. That's all that's watching anymore. So maybe these wrestlers and everybody that says it was the right decision because that's what should have happened in 1976, they're clearly not watching what has happened since. Cody Rhodes going to the UK on tour with no fucking championship. Cody Rhodes showing up to Puerto Rico in a big main event with no title on the line and no reason for the match. Brock attacks him for no reason. It was supposed to be Brock attacks Cody because he has the title and he couldn't attack Roman anymore because that was the stipulation in their last match. Nothing makes sense, right? And then Roman now is in the storyline where he's unhinged. He's imploding the bloodline from within. Well, that story would make sense if he no longer had his titles. The Usos lost theirs, obviously. And he's blaming the Usos for everything. He doesn't want it. He's deflecting, right? I lost it because you did not do the deed. You did not play your parts, and that's why I don't have the titles. And then you disgrace the family by losing your fucking titles to begin with. And that begins the implosion. The guy's on top of the world. He's got the world championships. There's no reason for him to implode. But you see, he's getting more and more paranoid. That's all you're doing. You're recreating the Stone Cold paranoia, right? All we're missing now is Roman to start saying, what? What? Paranoid Stone Cold made sense. Everything worked properly. Right now, this dude is just causing problems and rifts with the Usos. It's like he's pulling shit out of his ass. A lot of this I'm not getting behind. A lot of this doesn't make sense to BC. It's somebody they're pushing way too hard for something that's clearly not there. I'm down with paranoid Roman. Make it make sense a little bit more. If he didn't have the titles, this would have made much more sense. Cody's trajectory, Roman's trajectory, especially being away after a month and a half. And now there's all this tension in the bloodline because they don't have the fucking titles and they're all imploding. There's so much drama. There's so much question. There's so much paranoia because the titles have been ripped away at WrestleMania for those culminating. It's not rocket science, man. We're not asking you to move mountains. It's simplistic, right? It is clear. It doesn't matter what wrestler you are from the past or what fan with 140 characters. It is clear. Everything that has happened after Mania, that they had no plan, no matter what any official in WWE tries to tell you. If it's Vince McMahon or if it's fucking Pinocchio Pussface himself, Schnoz McGee, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, when they tell you there's more story to tell, they don't have anything going into the summer but this one bloodline shit. Everything else, and you're seeing it on Raw and you're seeing it on SmackDown, they're coasting into the summer. So no, forgive me or forgive me not if I'm not on board with what is happening going into the summer and our second biggest pay-per-view premium live event of the calendar year. Forgot where I even left off, but it's right from the jump, literally. I just went in left field with a hockey stick there because that's how irate I get when things that should make perfect sense because it's sitting in their lap makes zero sense because they overcomplicate shit. So, back to how we started the show. Roman and the Bloodline. Saying some words. Roman's got his little t-shirt, making fun of everyone that thinks that this was the right or thought it was the wrong call. And they're going to play it off like, oh, everyone's just upset because he's still champion, right? No, we're upset because even those that loved the long title reign, like BC, all the way till this year's Mania, I loved it. We all just knew that at Mania was the time to drop it. We know you're taking off. We know Cody, we see his schedule. We know he's going to need that title, especially if you're setting up a Brock feud and anything after. Everything makes sense if you just make the right call. Because you made the wrong call, it's a ripple trickle-down effect, and nothing in this company has made sense. Now the champion isn't even defending the championship at a pay-per-view called Night of Champions. Go figure. But they're sitting in there, they're mocking those that thought Cody should have won. Look at my t-shirt, man. Life is not fair, and I'm still... Yeah, very good, buddy. Very good. Good luck getting fucking that to reach number one in merchandise. Not saying Roman wouldn't, but that shirt is not going to do it. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens hit the ring. They have some back and forth. Roman says the biggest mistake, the only regret that I have in my career, and I've had ups and I've had downs, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, is allowing you to be a part of the bloodline, allowing you, or spending even a part of my life with you. Sami Zayn, you are the one regret. Sami Zayn says the only regret I have is not hitting you in the chair with that chair sooner. So they're having some back and forth. Owens just slams his microphone down. He doesn't even want to talk. So Roman mocks him and just says, oh, I get it. Fight, Owens, fight, right? Is that what we're doing? So he's mocking Owens. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, come out of nowhere. Well, from the crowd, but you get my point. They come through the crowd, out of nowhere, and they attack Zayn and Owens from behind. Once Zayn and Owens are taken out, the Usos get in the ring, and they're celebratory. They're fucking handshaking and fucking high-fiving. They go to high-five Roman. Roman swats. Maybe it was Jimmy's hand away. I forget, but he swats it away, and Roman's irate, flipping out, yelling, saying, that's not the plan. This is my show. Who do you think you are? You ruined it. You ruined my plan. It reminded me of Stone Cold interrupting Vince McMahon and Mike Tyson on Monday Night Raw. And Stone Cold comes out and he has a shoving match with Tyson. And Vince is irate. Vince is yelling, you ruined it! You ruined it! Damn it, you ruined it! You ruined it! I still remember Vince yelling, man. And Stone Cold's like, fuck you, you son of a bitch! Fuck you, Vince! Fuck you, you dumb son of a bitch! You ruined it! You just ruined it! I'll ruin you, Vince! You big Leon little dumb fuck! Alright, sorry guys, had to square that mic up, man. Fix that mic! Alright, so anyway, Roman goes to walk away because he's had enough. He's like, nope, forget it. I'm not dealing with you two right now. He's done with the twins. He goes to turn around in a tantrum, and he bumps into the left shoulder. Roman's left shoulder bumps into the left shoulder of Solo Sikoa, and Solo does not look happy. He doesn't care if he's the tribal chief or not. He's about to knock that chief right back to his island. And Roman looks timid. Roman looks at him like he wants to apologize. Like, I'm out of here. He's like, sorry, brother, I did not mean that. Fuck this. And he just takes off, man. It's like Roman was just having a bad night. So that tension is teased between Solo and Roman. In fact, when Roman was flipping out at the Usos, man, Solo gets in a position almost like with that thumb out, like he was going to take out Roman. Interesting layer to that story. And then backstage, it was beautifully done. They were all in Roman's special locker room, and Roman is just scolding the twins like he's a principal, and Jimmy and Jay just got into like a high school fight, and they got called into the principal's office, and he's just screaming at him like he had a plan. They ruined it. This is his show, everything he's ever worked for. He had things to say, and he wasn't able to because of them. And he kicks them out. He just literally kicks out the Usos. And this is not the first time they've been kicked out. Solo is just watching Roman like a dog would watch its owner as the owner is preparing their food. And you ever see a dog? They're fixated on the food. Solo is fixated on Roman Reigns. Never once even looking at his brothers, Jimmy and Jay. Every time Roman would yell or scream, Paul Heyman's in the background, like just squinting every time, like the younger brother who's watching the father scold the older brother, and the younger brother's like, "Fuck, man, I'm so glad that's not me right now." Paul Heyman was playing that off beautifully. That was a really well done backstage segment. This storyline is pretty damn good, and no, it does not involve Cody Rhodes, not in the least. There's nothing to do with Cody. So when Paul Levesque says there's more story to tell, no, there's not. There's not. He went away for a month and a half, and now they're just doing the bloodline implosion angle, which has always been teased. So they're just going with that tried and true formula into the summer. But I have no problem with that. That's fine. I do have a problem with Roman not defending his Universal Championship at an event called Night of Champions when he has not defended the title in 2 months. Because next Saturday, a week from tonight, it'll be the 27th of May. So if you just add in, 4 or 5 more days, it will be 2 full months since he's defending the Universal Championship. And it doesn't look like he's going to defend it anytime soon. I don't care what type of loophole you have in your contract, storyline-wise. This would never make sense. Nobody would sign this. So I have a problem with an event called Night of Champions when a guy's been away for a month and a half and he's got the World Championship, the Universal. I have a problem with him not defending it. Make him double duty. I have no problem with the tag team match against Zayn and Owens. There's some intrigue there, but he's got to pull double duty then. That's just not realistic to BC, but I don't mind this storyline at all, and that was easily the highlight of the night last night. The problem is that's all they have again, and that was fine when it was like Sami Zayn, and it transitioned into Cody Rhodes, and at the same time you had Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio's feud, and we were getting Kana Asuka, hoping at that point anyway that it was going to be better between her and Belair. It ended up not being the case, but there was at least some hope. We were coming off, whether you liked it or not, man. It got high ratings, and it was much talked about. Bray Wyatt and LA Knight coming out of the Rumble. There was a lot of discussion that wasn't just the Bloodline. And Trish and Lita coming back, whether you like that or haven't liked it since. There was just more discussion. Now, there's nothing. There's that Bloodline, and that's it. Watch Monday Night Raw. You didn't go back and watch any of that twice, and you know you didn't. You probably forgot what even happened on Monday night. I have one page. Usually it's pages. It was so bad this past Monday, I only have 1 page of notes. But guess what? I forgot what happened. I could easily go back and look, and I don't even want to. I forgot what happened on Monday, and it's probably best that I forgot it. Was SmackDown any better last night, or is it just this Bloodline storyline? Well, let's talk about it, because I'm not done with that story yet. We'll go to the main event, which saw Zayn, Owens, Roman backstage. So we started with that because that's how the show started. and the Usos being scolded by Roman, and Roman bumping into Solo, and the internal turmoil has begun to an amplified degree, and it looks like self-sabotage by an overly paranoid Roman Reigns. But is that it? We're going to go over the rest of the show, then we'll get to the main event, and we'll put a cap on it with this same storyline. Pretty Deadly ends up defeating the Brawling Brutes. This is Pretty Deadly's big debut for SmackDown, and they looked good, man. I just love the finish. I forget who it was, but one of the members of Pretty Deadly, there's a little bit of trickery going on, a little bit of tricks up the sleeve, and dude, I forgot which Pretty Deadly member this was, but he ties himself into the ropes to make it look like there was no way that he could help his tag partner win this match. No way! So the ref has to help him off. So not only was it an assist, but the ref ends up actually helping him out of the ropes, feeling bad for him. Like, damn, how did that happen? And Pretty Deadly picks up the victory over the Brawling Brutes. So I actually don't mind that at all. If you're going to have the Brutes lose, at least make it so the focus isn't on their loss. You know? The focus is on Pretty Deadly. Damn, that was a pretty smart move. I got to watch out for these two. The Brawling Brutes were done dirty. You know, we're not just going, oh, the Brawling Brutes just look like jokes, man. Like they've been on the roster for how long? Pretty Deadly shows up in one match and takes them out. No, I'm not really looking at the Brutes like they took a massively bad loss that they cannot get back up from. I hope that makes sense. I just felt this was a creative finish. That's all I ever asked for. Do some original shit, not just a fruit roll-up out of nowhere. And that's it, because you just don't give a damn to do anything else creative. You don't want to spend an ounce of energy because you just don't want to work hard at this creative shit. No, that's unacceptable. So Pretty Deadly, man, showing BC a little something. I like that. I will be keeping my eye on these two going forward. This could be it's little things like that can create a division that we actually care about watching. Caramel macchiato. I have not had one of these in a long time. Now I remember why. They're super sweet. They put the fucking 2-pump vanilla, and then they put the caramel on top, and it's a double shot. I always get double shot, you know, because I'm fucking wired like that. Man, caramel macchiato. This thing hits the spot, though. But damn, is it sugared. Anyway, where am I? Fucking talking about coffee, Pretty Deadly. Oh, then we get a nice tribute to superstar Billy Graham. Very cool. They actually put this same tribute on WWE.com a couple days ago. They just re-aired that, but that's fine. That they show that type of respect. Very cool. Put up the graphic and show that love for superstar Billy Graham, because a lot of the wrestlers you see today, they're not even here if not for superstar Billy Graham. Thought that was very cool. Much love and respect to his family, and thank you, Graham, for the memories. Asuka then taps out Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega tapped out by Asuka. Now, why not just do a jobber match here, man? There's no reason to have Zelina Vega in that spot. Coming off the big L in Puerto Rico, and then she's just tapping out to Asuka. There's actually no reason for that. Just get Hand Job Holly from the local bingo hall. She'll gladly tap out to Asuka. She'll do anything for a small fee. She's Hand Job Holly. It didn't have to be Zelina here, guys. What are you going to say? It was to get Zelina airtime, BC. It's better than nothing. No, it's not. If you're just going to lose a simplistic match, nobody's going to go back and watch that. Nobody's going to go back in time and go, oh, Zelina Vega is one of her best matches with Asuka on the 19th of May's SmackDown. No, it wasn't. Zelina tapped. I'm not saying Asuka should have lost either, by the way. I just wouldn't have booked this match, man. Why have wrestler A defeat wrestler B nonsensically, right? It keeps everybody 50-50 booked, and when you're 50-50 booked, you're average, and nobody wants to follow an average wrestler. Nobody wants to hang around anything that's average. So then you have fucking Bianca Belair come down afterwards, because Bianca Belair or Asuka kept her armbar on a little bit too long. So Bianca's going to come down and save the day. So Bianca Belair hits the ring. Asuka kind of ducks out of the ring, and Belair's just helping Zelina out. Asuka comes back to the ring apron. Bianca goes over there and be like, what do you want, man? I'll slap you. And Asuka delivers the blue mist. Only it completely mists, right? The mist mists. And it gets her like a little over here, completely not in the eyes. And Bianca didn't sell it like it got her in the eyes, to her credit. So I don't know if that was by design or a botch, but it did not get in her eyes. Good. Now Bianca can haul ass after Asuka, you would think, right? I mean, after 2 weeks in a row getting blue mist, last week with chili pepper in the mist or some shit to make it extra hot in her eyes. Wouldn't you be pissed off? That's why you originally came to the ring to help Zelina. You want to get to Asuka. And then she tried to do it again. And you know what Bianca did? She stared at Asuka from the ring, and Asuka never ran away. Asuka was right there at the same spot she spit at her in. And Bianca's looking at her. She just spit in your fucking face for the second week in a row. I don't know where you come from, but if somebody spits in your face, you're going to whoop that ass, you're going to snap their spine and break their fucking neck, right? You would think. No, Bianca's looking at her. What the hell? Why'd you do that? That's not nice, you know. That ain't nice. I'm like, okay. Now are you going to go after her? Now that you just stared at her for a minute? No. We fade to black, or we go to a commercial, we went to backstage, or we went to Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Guys, I'm not making this up. Bianca stared at... It's not like Asuka ran away 10 feet too, right? So Bianca's like, fuck, man, I know you're just going to run if I go out there. No, Asuka stayed right there. Asuka spit in her face and then stared at her. Didn't move. And Bianca's just like... And we zoom in, and Bianca's still not moving. Bianca's just staring at her. It's the same shit we saw over a month ago, nearly 2 months ago. This has been the whole story going into WrestleMania. They never pumped up the volume. They never got amplified with this feud going into Mania. And now we're just seeing the same type of shit that we saw pre-Mania. If you're going to do a rematch, if you're going to continue a story, aren't you going to try to amplify it so we give a shit to see it all again? Or are you just going to regurgitate the same shit every week? I bet you WWE is pissed off right now that they already did the can they coexist angle with them. I bet you it is painful to Schnoz McGee, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, that he cannot put him in a tag team right now. Because they already did the coexist shit going into Mania. So now every fucking week you're going to get the mist. Thankfully, there's only one more week before Night of Champions when they finally face off. And get that, by the way. SmackDown's Bianca Belair is going to be taking on SmackDown's Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Makes sense, right? Of course not. Nothing in this company makes sense. I cannot believe we regurgitated the same mist to the eyes that we've been seeing since the beginning of time, it seems. And that's what I mean about no effort in this company. And that's what I mean about they don't give a shit about stories and feuds or where they're going or even trying to make us care just a little bit about wanting to see these stories culminate. Because there is no story. There's no story with Asuka and Belair. There's none. Asuka became number one contender, and then they just have these weird interactions every week. Not a story to me. I know it ain't to many of you. Hour number 2, Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller's guest was AJ Styles, and it was good. AJ Styles was talking about how much this world title means to him. If he can beat Seth Rollins, he's got to do it. Of course, we know that Sethington is going to win this thing. But Grayson Waller, at the end of it, he was great. He sounds like he's sympathetic to what Styles is saying. Like this is a different Grayson Waller, and he actually understands Styles, and he's in his corner. And Waller goes at the end, he says, well, the best part that I'm looking forward to next Saturday is when the ring announcer says, and new world champion, Sethington Rollins. And of course, this pisses off Styles, so Styles stands up. And Grayson and Styles are staring at each other, and I'm like, oh, where are they going with this? This could be a really good angle, man, because the whole thing was set up so good. And boop, they go to Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. They ended the segment just like that. Grayson Waller sends a shot to AJ saying, I can't wait till they announce Sethington as the new champ. AJ gets pissed off. They stare at each other. And next segment. They just ended it. It's like Bianca Belair gets spit in the face, second time, 4 times in total, and she just stares at Asuka, who's 3 feet away from her. Wouldn't you do so? No, they just stare at each other. AJ Styles just gets another grown man who sends a zinger, and he gets up and he stares at him. Like, oh man, if I didn't bring just one ball to work today, if I had both of the balls, you would have gotten a punch in the mouth, man. I'll show you in effect, Grayson. What are we doing? This is a billion-dollar conglomerate company, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate company. You're putting on a television show 2 hours on prime time, and this is what you have for creative? Let's have Asuka defeat Zelina in a few minutes. Bianca will run out. Asuka will try to mist her, but she'll miss the mist, and Bianca will stare at her like, you're lucky you didn't get me. And then we'll have a segment where Grayson Waller says something that pisses off Styles, and then they'll stare at each other. Yeah. I'm not saying give away the kitchen sink in one outing, but fuck, man. Have activity at that kitchen sink. The water's running. Vegetables are being chopped up. You got fucking Danishes fucking around the kitchen sink. You got pots and pans. Have activity with the kitchen sink. Make us want to fucking see all of this next week and beyond. Watching Grayson and AJ stare at each other doesn't make BC go, I can't wait for this to heat up. Speaking of Styles, man, Karrion Kross backstage is doing one of these Karrion Kross cryptic promos when nobody believes in him anymore, sadly, and I'm a big Kross fan. I mean, every time he does these type of like, oh, wow, man, he's cryptic, man. This dude's a big-time player. And then he goes to the match. It's like what happened with Bray Wyatt, right? Bray Wyatt has no problem captivating the majority of the audience. And when he gets to the big matches, he loses them. They book him horribly when it comes to the actual matches to be booked. Karrion Kross, man, he just loses left and right when he talks a big game. So now he's backstage talking a big game about AJ Styles. Looks like that's who the next big feud is going to be. Karrion Kross, AJ Styles. Now, if you caught the podcast yesterday, I told you guys that was happening. And I actually raised the question. I said, most likely Waller is going to start something with Styles. But I'm also hearing from reputable sources that Karrion Kross and Styles are supposed to have a feud into the summer. So we talked about that in yesterday's podcast. Should it be Waller? Should it be Kross? Either way, it looks like a stacked summer for AJ Styles, man. You got Sethington next Saturday and 2 big feuds waiting in the wings, Karrion Kross and or Grayson Waller. Now, a lot of people like BC were a little bit upset that they did ruin the finish of next Saturday, setting up Waller, setting up Kross. This is telling us what we already knew, but at least try to hide it a little bit. But it's clear that Sethington is beating Styles for the title next week, and then AJ will go on to do a packed summer of 2 different feuds. Will we care about those feuds? Hopefully. Will WWE give us reasons to care about them? Those are the questions. Street Profits defeat Rick Boogs into LA Knight. Yeah. LA Knight and Rick Boogs in a tag team. First of all, that's as tragic as it gets, right? That's pretty fucking criminal. We all begged and pleaded when we heard about this to split them up immediately. Well, we got that last night after the Profits defeated, and I think it was Montez pinned Boogs 1, 2, 3 off of a frog splash. Why? Before I even get to LA Knight and Boogs and as a tag team and then splitting up immediately, why even have Boogs drop a match like that? Why? Rick Boogs is supposed to be this massive powerhouse freak, and a frog splash takes him out? Come on, man. By the more overly than stale of stale. As stale as the New Day as a unit. Much love to Big E, by the way. Much love to Big E. Really, man, every chance I get to say much love, and hopefully his rehab is going better and better, man. It's so good just to see him walking and whatnot. Every time I see Big E, he looks like he's doing better, bigger, better spirits. Very cool to see. Kofi Kingston as well, but that's much more minor than what Big E went through. But as a unit, New Day has been so fucking stale, overly stale. Same thing with the Profits. What are we doing? Nobody gives a fuck. The red fucking drinking cups fall, and that's the Street Profits. Montez is damn good, but Dawkins holds him down like an anchor. As a tag team, just like the entire division, basically, it's non-existent, man. You don't get a feeling when they come through the fucking curtain. You just want it to be over. Luckily, this match wasn't even that long. Sucks to see Boogs just eating an L like that. But the good news is, immediately after, that whole pairing has been split up. Post-match, LA Knight takes out Boogs. Thank goodness we don't got to worry about that. Now, it's just about what happens next. Are we going to do a 2 to 3 month feud with LA Knight and Boogs? Who the fuck wins here? Boogs needs W's, man. You're still trying to introduce your audience as to why they should care about Boogs. On the other side, on the flip side, LA Knight is a bona fide star already. He sure as hell cannot be losing. Why have this? This isn't like Bray and Knight, where I told you guys, LA Knight should be losing at Rumble, and that's fine. No harm, no foul. LA Knight is going to gain victory in defeat. Bray has to win. Nobody gains victory and defeat here. Boogs and LA Knight makes no fucking sense. They both have to collect W's, and one of them is going to have to collect L's. I don't like this at all. I don't like the tag team pairing. It was stupid as fuck from the jump. I don't like the way this is going, guys. This is not how you book LA Knight when he's already a bona fide star. And Boogs just simplistically taking L's and starting a feud with LA Knight. I don't get this, and I know that WWE doesn't even have reasons for it. They're throwing salami at the wall, and whatever name it lands on, that's how they're pairing individuals up. NXT Women's Tag Title holders Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Penelope Pussface and Two Titty Tina in a straight-up jobber match. I love this. I love jobber matches anyway, and that's how you introduce Alba and Isla. Straight jobber match. Show the universe who they are. You don't gotta put two actual superstars in there, right? You ain't gotta put a Mia Yim or a Candice LeRae in there to take L's in 2 minutes. Put in Penelope Pussface. Put in Two Titty Tina to do the job and make Isla and Alba look like bona fide superstars. I love this. They took care of them quickly. Alba and Isla win this match. Blink of an eye, snap of a finger. Nobody lost interest because it was over as fast as it started, and you got to see two human beings annihilated by the actual superstars. Over time, that builds suspense because eventually they'll bump into other superstars, and then you have to see that at the pay-per-view. Hope that makes sense. It's a simple philosophy that over years we've gotten away from. The only problem I have with this and what I would have done different is I would have had Alba and Isla beat the shit out of Penelope Pussface and Two Titty Tina after the match. Put a bigger beating on them. Really? That's your chance. In jobber matches, that is the superstar's chance to beat the fucking annihilate other human beings that nobody cares about anyway. To really rise and raise your stock. So my only problem with this is that they didn't put more of a beating and really show the wrestling world just how badass they are, because they are. Michael Cole announces that we are going to, speaking of women's tag champions, those are the NXT tag title holders, well, the WWE women's tag team championships, well, those are once again vacated. Michael Cole announces out of nowhere, thin air, that new champs will be crowned on Raw in 2 weeks. It's going to be a fatal four-way match, and it's clear that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler will be collecting those titles. Making what? 4 different sets of champions in the past several months. Damage Control had them, then Lita and Becky Lynch, then Raquel and Liv Morgan. And then, and now they're vacated. It's about to go to Shayna and Ronda. This is because Liv Morgan was injured. We do believe that is. I don't know why I'm doing that. I think that is legit. And then Raquel was storyline injured, but Raquel is going to be able to compete in 2 weeks in this Fatal 4. She just has to find a mystery tag partner. So she is in this as well. Damage Control is in this match, and then 2 others. I forget. I don't even care. It's going to Shayna and Ronda. That's obvious. Unless they have a plan for them and they're going to let Shayna and Ronda be Shayna and Ronda, the badasses that they always should have been booked like. Unless they're going to do that, nobody's going to give a shit. But the tag title, just like that, I mean, they had a tag title match on Monday, and at the last minute, they're like, oh, it's turned into a one-on-one because Liv can't compete. Well, at that point, you should have announced the vacation. Not the Roman Reigns vacation, the vacating of the tag titles. But no, they have a weird one-on-one, and then on Friday, they announce it out of nowhere, like nothing. And right in the middle of the show. Shows you how they feel about the women's tag division. Probably both tag divisions. They don't feel any which way. They don't care about it. And then you wonder why Mercedes Moné, Mercedes Fernando, Sasha Banks, and Trinity Fatu, Naomi, why they fucking walked away in the first place. Even before that, why Bayley and Sasha walked away the first time. Here we are all these months later, they still don't care about these tag titles. And then Austin Theory is out there, middle of the ring, blah, 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 for 5 minutes, guys. This is what they do. They're really trying so hard to have Austin Theory go out there and get natural boos. And it ain't working. It's taking up so much time. It's fucking nauseating. And they end up piping in the boos anyway. And that's what they did last night. More fake piped in boos for Austin Theory. No reaction whatsoever. Just piped in fake boos. Just like John Cena called out months ago. And they're still doing it. Sheamus hits the ring and delivers a bro kick. And Austin Theory is flat on his back looking up at the lights. This is not a repackaged Austin Theory. This is the same Theory. He just put the cell phone down. Sheamus bro kicks him, and then he does a mic drop. Awesome. And then main event, LWO's Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus the Bloodline's Jimmy and Jey Uso. This was a very good match. Ray was like a kid in there, man. This looked like Rey Mysterio from 1997. I mean, this dude looked like a young buck in there, not Matt and Nick Jackson. A different type of young buck. He just looked rejuvenated. Ray was the star of this. I thought it was going to be Santos Escobar that really gives his calling card to the wrestling world, at least the WWE world. No, it was Rey Mysterio that put that match on his back. Zayn and Owens repay the favor from the Usos, beating the shit out of them at the start of the show, the jump. So, during the main event, Zayn and Owens cost the Usos the match. We cut backstage, and Roman is pissed off. Solo goes to get up, like he's going to make his way to ringside, but Roman just fucking puts his arm on him like, no, sit down. So it kind of devalues the start of the show, right? Where there's this intrigue, like, oh shit, Solo looks like he's going to rock Roman. Solo's not happy with Roman. But by the end of the show, Solo's about to go do the work for Roman, and Roman touches him again. Just like he accidentally bumped in, he puts his arm on him, but Solo's kind of like... And Solo sits back down, like adhering to his master's commands, and we go off the air. So, man, I don't know. Maybe I would have ended that a little bit differently, especially if you're going back to Roman and Solo backstage. I would have had some more emphasis on that. But, it was a good main event match. A little bit more substance. You don't get Roman there every week. You got him there. Let's do something huge. Night of Champions is in 7 nights. That was not enough for BC to go, oh, fucking A, what an ending. What a cliffhanger. No. And the way they started the show, they set themselves up perfectly for a badass cliffhanger. And it didn't deliver. So, when SmackDown goes off the air, my final conclusion on this show is the Bloodline story is the only thing even worth mentioning again going forward. Asuka and Belair is tragically bad. We're doing the same shit we did 2 months ago leading into Mania. Unacceptable. LA Knight should be a bona fide pinnacle superstar right now, and he's fucking around with some weird shit with Boogs, and Boogs is looking like an idiot during this. At a time where he needs more momentum. Any momentum. The women's tag titles, what are we fucking doing? And now you have NXT tag champions on board. You can't even book your regular WWE women's titles correctly. What are you going to do with 2 sets of women's tag titles? Your United States champion cannot get organic heat. He only wishes he gets a fraction of what Dominic Mysterio gets naturally. So you got to pipe in fake noise for your mid-card champion, Austin Theory. Real good there, Vince. Real good there, Hunter Hearst. And I can go on and on. No. Am I happy about this show? Not at all. It had its moments. It's got that one storyline. We're hanging on everything the Bloodline does, and that's it. And I think it's way too soon to actually split them up. A lot of you guys already have the Usos costing Roman and Solo the match so Zayn and Owens can keep the titles on Saturday next week. And you're probably right. That's what it looks like is going to happen. And then what? You have the Usos versus Solo and Roman. I mean, there's so much more you can do with the Bloodline together as a unit. It's way too early to split them up. I agree, Roman with that title, that has to end. But, man, I hope you know what you're doing if you're honestly going to split this group up. Because they work so damn well together. And you can ignite so many good stories through them. I just wish the rest of the show, no matter how you feel about the Bloodline, how you see it ending up, culminating, how you would like to see it culminate, no matter that, put that on the back burner for a second. Throw that to the wayside. I just wish that the rest of these shows made sense, that they cared about giving us intriguing television segments, feuds, stories, characters. Because it makes these wrestlers look like idiots when they're staring at one another like bozos that don't want to make a move. If somebody spits in your face, you're chasing them. Belair stares at her. If somebody insults you, like saying, yeah, I hear you, buddy. I can't wait till they announce your challenger as the winner. And you stand up and do what? Look at him. I'm going to look you in the eyes, man. Man, I wish we capitalized on some good situations last night. But with the lack of creativity, it'll all turn to shit. That's your SmackDown review for Friday, May 19th, 2023. Yeah, I can't even. There's a few other things I wanted to discuss, but this is already the better part of an hour. So I'm going to end that there. Congratulations to Jade Cargill over in AEW. She is celebrating 500 days as the TBS Women's Champion. The TBS Champion. So 500 days. I know a lot of people are like, look at most of the names that she's beaten. Look how irrelevant it's been, BC. I get it. But that's still a pretty huge accomplishment. 500 days. And on top of that, undefeated. So congratulations to her. To my Amplified unit, I have a big members-only live chat in a stream coming up this week. It may be for one of the pay-per-views. Maybe a Double or Nothing or an NXT Battleground, or maybe it will be the Saudi show, Night of Champions. But I got a few live. I don't get to do many live streams. You guys know that. But when I do, it's so good to have all you guys come on board and shoot the shit with BC. There will be a members-only stream. Everybody can view and listen, but for the chat, it'll be members only. That's coming up this week. And then I'll do another live stream, hopefully, where the whole unit can participate. But yeah, it's a big week, man. There's 3 big events. And NXT has Battleground, their pay-per-view, premium live. WWE has their Saudi Night of Champions this week. And Double or Nothing has, or AEW has Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is actually going head-to-head with NXT Battleground. That is nuts. I mean, they're trying to stack those shows, man. They're trying to counterpunch each other left and right. Shit, so it's going to be a massive week, man, and it all starts Monday with the next installment of Amplification. Until next time, and there will be a next time, BC saying check you. Top guy, we're fucking out. Peace!